Hello again, people. Right, excuse me. It is what is it? Thursday evening. 14 minutes past 5, 17:14, and I'm just having a look at BTC. I'd put together a tweet, just sort of talking about these levels. They're just based on the line chart there, and that resistance there, and this was a break below, I think probably a daily level, actually not a weekly. It should be further down, but looking at the line chart we can clearly see we've got a bit of divergence going in. The reason I thought it was quite interesting is because we have actually got a downtrend: high, low, lower, high, lower, low. We are pushing into this sort of excuse me, valid, what I call valid, in other words it's made a higher high, support. Buyers are still extremely strong there, so there's a real battle going on between the sellers and the buyers. Sellers here that made a new low, strong selling in other words, and buyers here that made a new high, strong buying. So there's a real battle on, but as we can see, there's no real strength to the buying side, no real momentum to the buying side, which is why I put that there. And then if we look back at the candlesticks, you can see what's going on here is a 3 candle reversal. That's the penultimate. These are all inside bars. That's the ultimate, and that is the 3 candle reversal to the downside. It's broken through this area that forced price further up, and is currently using this area here, the old sort of support area. In other words, they pushed it down, they pushed it back up, they pushed it down, they pushed it back up, they pushed it down, finally couldn't push it back up anywhere, and it closed below that critical level there. Hasn't even tested this new level that we talked about on the line chart there yet, so really potentially that's what I would expect it to do. It's doing exactly what we would talk about here, which is a 3 candle reversal down, pop back to test support as resistance, and then potentially continue down, test this area, and see whether the real buyers are going to pile back in. But as it stands, it doesn't look like there's an awful lot of sentiment to the long side. So I'm thinking, the logic says that the big money that drives these things and manipulates price, the huge money, not just Bitcoin hodlers as it were, the huge money is playing some serious games here. So I don't care, this could just be an hourly chart, the candlesticks, it could be a 5-minute chart. That's all I care about. I don't really care that it's Bitcoin, to be honest with you. It could be corn or soya or anything. These guys that people are trading against have unlimited amounts of money, and when you've got a massive bull run like that, then they're going to try and trap as many buyers into this potential move, saying whatever they can, doing whatever they can, but been in these markets long enough, and you learn from Forex and gold and stuff like that nothing is what it seems in terms of all the fundamental talking heads out there. So let's have a look back at the daily chart, and now we can just sort of analyze this in the swings. We've looked at the candlesticks, now we can look at the swings. We could look back at the candles, and I can put the weekly chart back up there, zoom in, and you can compare that. The reason I didn't want to change the other weekly chart was because I've got all levels and bits and pieces on there. So that's what we were just looking at. Oops. That's what we were looking at, and now we're looking at it's on just on a different template, as it were. So we've got an ascending trend line there. Go back to the daily swing chart now. Sorry, flipping about. That's your trend line: low, high, higher, low, higher, high. This I was taught when I was learning about trends. I think it might be Dow theory or Alexander Elder or one of those. They call it a creeping trend. It's not a particularly strong trend. You know, a V-shaped trend it would be a lot stronger. This is by no means a V-shaped trend. So I suppose you could call it an ascending wedge as well, or something like that. It's got some sort of weird name going for it, but all I'm worried about is the fact that the trend is weakening. Divergence crept in. We had a little bit of a last hurrah, if you like, you know, but you often get that has a term as well. They call it like stopping volume or something. You know, it's a fast move up, and then you know, faking the the buyers in, and then reversing quickly. You know, sort of a 2B scenario going on there as well. So let's have a look. What else can we glean from this? Right, well, that there is the last resistance level. And get rid of the dragon, actually. Oh no, well, first off as well, it's important to notice that the dragon here, we've dropped below the 89 EMA. That's quite critical. We have created our typical dragon poke through that Sonic DJ, the sort of the guy who devised this, called it the Sonic R Dragon. We've poked through, we've pulled back to the dragon. The dragon will then create this this sort of scenario potentially, and you know, then you've got your steep curve in. As Mr. Pheasant outside making a noise, and then effectively when we break this low, you are then starting to fulfill what Sonic DJ used to talk about, which is the break, basically, and we know that as a 1, 2, 3 lower high break. So we could then, the minute this price breaks below this level here, this blue line, we can then draw our descending trend line. Sorry, I get confused when I'm moving from trading view to MetaTrader. But then that would be a valid, the minute this price closes below there, it would be a valid descending trend line. Don't get confused, that one there is just the hypothetical Sonic R Dragon. I'm talking about that little one underneath there. Sonic R Dragon I can never say that word. Trajectory, something like that. Trajectory. So yeah, a break here. You can also flip to the candle and wait for the daily candle to go pull down there. We'll have had a 3 candle reversal at this point here where the little white dotted line is, and then potentially another pullback, then a continuation, and that would then be sort of the weekly 3 candle reversal, which has already happened, and the pullback, that green bar there, and then a daily that comes into line with the weekly then. So then you would have your weekly 3 candle reversal, you would have your daily 3 candle reversal. That would then potentially cause a pullback, and then you'd have your H4 3 candle reversal, and then that would have a pullback, and then you'd have H1. So then you would have the weekly, the daily, the H4, the H1, and so on and so forth, M30, M15, and so on. So that's how it works. There is no way this is either short bias really at the moment or long bias, but I certainly wouldn't be, if I was considering buying here, it's pretty dangerous. The safest way, and this is what, you know, this is the whole what we do, the real way is waiting for a 3 candle reversal to the upside. So that's what, you know, this is what the 3 candle reversal is about. They are forcing absolute 100% discipline. So we would need to have a new 3 candle reversal up and do the opposite of what I've just described to the downside. So that is the penultimate low. that is the ultimate low as it stands at the moment, because the low is lower. So we need a candle to break above that, not break below, that's quite critical, but pull back above this yellow high here, the high of this red candle, close above it, then do the same thing we just described, pull back on the daily, and hopefully not necessarily have to make a 3 candle reversal down, because that would then start to create the whole process to the downside. But test the 3 CR reversal level and then pop back up, and that would have done the H4. Then you go down to the H4, you check that hasn't 3 CR down, and then if it has, it would need to 3 CR up again, and then that would then mean the 3 candle reversal in the long side is good to go. The daily is still good to go because it didn't reverse against itself. The H4 is good to go because it might have reversed against itself and then H4'd up, and then H1, M30 and all that lot. So it's got, for a safe entry long, following my rules as it were, the 3CR rules, and obviously it all relates to the RSI and the Dragon if you use that. That's how we would trade this, with absolute rules followed. It goes for stocks, it goes for anything. As I said before, this could just as easily be coffee or oil or soybeans or whatever, it doesn't matter. The rules apply to everything. So, you know, all these guys in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies just buying because that's what they've always done is not a very good strategy at all, in my opinion. But I don't mean to cause any insults or anything like that. It's just the way I've devised this method of trend trading. So, you know, that's a big old level down here that, as I said earlier, that's where price has got to get through to go further to the downside. If it gets through that, which is, as I mentioned before, that's the 30,000 level around there. 45, I mentioned that a while back, is about there, I think. What are we looking at? 43, yeah. So the low of the line chart is about 45, I think. So yeah, so loads of work to do either way. It could just range for ages. There's no reason it doesn't. I hate Bitcoin, to be honest with you. I don't like the price action at all. That's why I prefer to trade ETH and XRP. But it's fascinating, absolutely fascinating, watching this play out, and also watching all the Twitterati talking about it too. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.